Hello everyone, I'm Sophie and I'm currently at Kechara Forest Retreat, Bentong, Malaysia. And this is the book that I'll be sharing from, Unleashing Buddhanature, Personal Accounts of Those Touched and Reformed Through the Teachings of His Eminence the 25th Sam Rinpoche. Today I will continue with the story shared by Irene Lim, and that's on page 63. So let's go to a picture to share with you. Sorry, that's it. This is Irene Lim with Rinpoche, having a meal at Kechara Oasis, the vegetarian restaurant that Irene Lim set up with Rinpoche's concept. Right. In 1996, I decided to quit my job for good to become Rinpoche's full-time personal assistant. I traveled to India frequently to tend to Rinpoche's needs while organizing pilgrimages from Malaysia to visit his monastery and Buddhist power places. When Rinpoche eventually moved to Malaysia, I helped identify the premise of the Mother Temple, Kechara House in the Klang Valley, and registered the organization with the Registrar of Societies in Malaysia. One day in 2008, Rinpoche told me that I should help Kechara set up a vegetarian restaurant that promotes a diet that does not inflict cruelty to animals. I was taken aback. I was a banker with a maid to cook my daily meals. What did I know about running a restaurant? Doubt fills my mind, but I decided to follow my Lama's suggestion and give the venture a shot. I made a few phone calls to seek help from friends with relevant experiences, and we got to work. That was how the first Kechara Oasis restaurant in Jaya 1, Petaling Jaya was born. The most difficult part about managing a restaurant is hiring talent. Rinpoche made it clear from the beginning that I should not rely on volunteers from Kechara to fill my staffing needs, as Kechara was only a fledgling operation back then, with not much manpower to spare. For Kechara Oasis to be successful, we needed full-time professionals who could devote their time to running a restaurant. Unfortunately, many chefs and consultants balked when they heard that Kechara Oasis was a vegetarian business. When we finally hired the suitable staff and experts, another challenge awaited. I was on the last leg of getting Kechara Oasis ready for its opening in January 2009, when a close family friend of Rinpoche in Taipei had to undergo heart surgery. I decided to visit her for a few days. Unbeknownst to me, Rinpoche had also planned the same visit. Without any coordinating, both of us somehow ended up staying at the same hotel. Rinpoche had previously revealed to me that we shared a strong affinity because many lifetimes ago we were siblings. Bumping into Rinpoche was surprising, but what he said next was a real shocker. "Hey, monster," he said, using his nickname for me. "Let's go. I'm taking you to Tibet." My jaw dropped while my mind raced through the lengthy to-do list I had for Kechara Oasis. My cutlery and plates were arriving from overseas, and I had to inspect them. I had work from designers that were pending my approval and feedback. We also needed to recruit more people. Could I really do all this while trapezing about in Tibet? With doubts clogging my thoughts, I hung on to the flickering confidence that everything would turn out fine if I trusted in my Lama and went to Tibet with him. We ended up staying there for about 3 weeks. And everything did turn out okay. My husband was a tremendous help in overseeing the completion of the restaurant. I communicated with the designers through email. Although I did not have time to do my hair or sleep the day before Kechara Oasis opened for the media launch, the event was a success. The Chinese, Tibetan, and Nepalese cuisine that Kachara Oasis served went on to receive rave reviews. We even opened a second, more auspicious restaurant in the Viva Home Mall in Kuala Lumpur in 2011. I still find it hard to explain how I, a banker with no business experience, could get a restaurant up and running in a mere 3 months. Rinpoche's suggestion for me to embark on such a daunting journey was essentially a training of trust and faith. When I told Rinpoche that I didn't think I could do it, it was my fear talking. Logically, my fear was legitimate. I had no expertise in running a business, but by trusting my Lama, my leap of faith yielded results that I never thought possible. Trust is crucial in a guru-disciple relationship because when you decided on a Dharma teacher, he is supposed to be your guiding light until your enlightenment. How can you wholeheartedly follow someone you don't trust through the bumpy and unpredictable course of life? My training was not over. However, I found my confidence tested once again when Rinpoche put me in charge of caring for the orphan birds in the aviary at Kachara Forest Retreat. These birds, including cockatoos, budgies, parrots, and African greys, were rescued from abuse and neglect in homes and pet shops. We fed the birds a healthy diet and provided a suitable environment with trees, lamps for heat, fans, soft and sandy floors, as well as toys and mirrors to keep their minds stimulated. All this requires over 30,000 or USD 8,000 per year to maintain. And Rinpoche told me that I should raise the funds only through crowdfunding. I was not confident that I could raise the necessary amount through crowdfunding alone. Most of the donations I had raised so far came from my own friends and family, and pretty soon I would have exhausted their goodwill. Who else could I turn to then? When I posted this question to Rinpoche, he told me to have more confidence. The funds I have raised so far were only a fraction of what I would get in the future. It was another reminder for me to trust in my guru, even though I may not have trust in myself. Rinpoche is such an attained Lama that he can control his own death and rebirth. Shouldn't I believe that he has the ability to see things that are beyond my understanding now? Trusting Rinpoche even when it wasn't logical, helped me to master tasks that I never thought I could before, and I became more than who I thought I could be. So, if Rinpoche told me that crowdfunding for the aviary would work, then this was another leap of faith I would have to take. In addition to trusting the Guru, a Dharma journey also involves conquering our inner demons, such as anger, hate, and attachments. One of my biggest attachments is my family. We are very close-knit. However, I am 60 now. Who knows how much more time I will have in this life? There will come a day when I will have to bid them farewell. And I can imagine how heartbreaking it would be. The goodbye is inevitable, and this attachment will only keep me in samsara. Hence, Rinpoche encouraged me to spend as much time as possible in Kachara Forest Retreat, far away from my family. He kept me busy with various responsibilities so that I would not have too much time to dwell on how much I missed them. This practice of detachment is both for my family and I, so that when my final day comes, we will be prepared. Now that I am a grandmother, the training is even more difficult to bear, as I would love to see my grandchild more often. However, stripping off attachments is always painful, and I am lucky that my family understands. Another inner demon of mine that would keep me in samsara is my rigid definition of what is right and what is wrong, and my desire to be on the side of right. Rinpoche skillfully trains me to let go of having to be right all the time by twisting my words. There were many times when he accused me of making statements that I never said. At first, I panicked at the accusations. I wanted to explain to everyone that Rinpoche has misquoted me. But gradually, I began to realize what he was doing. He was trying to get rid of my ego that made me want to jump to my own defense, to convince everyone that I am not a bad person. But in actuality, it should not matter if I was right or wrong. If I have a big ego, I would not be able to walk through the doors of Dharma. Understanding that, I have now learned to let go whenever accusations are hurled at me. I no longer feel the need to defend my reputation anymore. What is the point if I get right down to it? I cannot bring my reputation to my next life. True, the trainings that Rinpoche puts me through are no easy feats. Sometimes it is almost unfathomable. But at the end of the day, I have unshakable trust in his wisdom, and I am glad to have found him. His love and care for his students is selfless and genuine, and that is how I know that my guru is right for me. And that was the sharing from Irene Lim. She's one of the most senior students of Rinpoche. And as you can learn from her sharing, that Rinpoche does put us through a lot of trials to help us overcome our own attachments and our comfort zones. As Rinpoche said, Rinpoche sometimes would put words in our mouths, as the saying goes, and to see how we react to it, and our need of defense, will naturally arise, but actually it really doesn't matter, whether we are, because basically it's our ego of having to look right, or presentable to others. So that is why we always, are on defense when somebody, hurls some accusation at us. So that's what Rinpoche's skillful methods involve, and as shared by Datuk Ruby in the previous sharing, that Vrajayana or Tantrayana is the path that we are on, and as such, it's a express way towards enlightenment, and that is why Rinpoche puts us through really, really tough experiences so that we can learn and overcome our attachments and shortcomings, so that we are able to let go. And as she has also mentioned, that climbing the Himalayas, we need to be fit, and so we need to go through the grueling training. So as such, actually, from all this training, you understand how much Rinpoche loves us and how much kindness and compassion he treats us with, because he puts himself in the position of being the bad person, that if the training goes wrong, that we are too stubborn or something, we may view Rinpoche in a bad light and all that. So he actually has no ego, so that is why he's able to do all this, and with a very, very good motivation, which is to lead us towards enlightenment. Okay, so that's the end of the session, and we'll end this with a completion dedication in Tibetan. Jang yu se yo rinpoche, ma ge pa nam ge shi, ge pa nam pa me pa yang, go ne go do pe wa shu. Toni to wa rinpoche, ma ge pa nam ge shi, ge pa nam pa me pa yang, go ne go do pe wa shu. Da so ju ni sa pa ge wa di, tan tan tro wa gu na ka pa da, je pa je su no san tra pa yi, tam ping yin por in de sa se shu. Ge wa gun to yan da la ma da, dra mi chu ki pa la lo chu je, sa dam lang yi ya te ra so ne, do je chang yi ngo pa nga tu so. Ge wa di yu du da, la ma sang yu dro yu ne, dro wa chi ke ma lo pa, de yi sa la go pa shu. Chogi ga bu sung ga ba, cho su nam pa pe wa la, ge ki sa ma si wa dan, tung ki ma lo sa wa shu. Da dam sang yu du sun dan, dre wei song yin a te ne, ge wa lo san tra pa yi, tam pa yu ri va, gi shi, ni mo de le sen de le, ni me gun. Ni me gun yan de le shi, ni sin ta tu de le pe, kun chu sung yi jing yi lo, kun chu sung yi ngo tru su, kun chu sung yi tra si shu, je su nam ma ku sen rap ting ching, nam ka tre ni cho chu ke pa dang, lo sam ten pe dro me sab sung yi, dro e mun sa ta tu ni gi shi, gang re ra we ko we shin kam den, pen dan de wa ma li go we ni, cha ren se wan ten sing get so yi, sha pe shi de ba du ten gi shi. Hôm tâm bình ngõ trộm mà lô pa, đến đến đó là sao du số, có đàn đến pa long chợ nó, cái pa số shik shuk tân sao. So thank you for sharing your time with me. Do join me for my next sharing on another student of Rinpoche.